So this is a very basic introduction into Dingo operations. This is a Vermeer 925. This video is more for somebody who has no experience on a Dingo or wants a little bit more knowledge on how the machine moves and operates. On these machines, as soon as you operate both tracks at the same time, you're gonna disturb the turf. You're gonna make a rut in the ground. I'm just doing some basic movements here, but you'll be able to see that shortly. If you're inexperienced running these machines, it's very easy to tear up the ground. That's why a lot of contractors will put down turf disturbance, such as those like Plex mat boards, and a little cheaper option is plywood, even though it's still expensive. So you can do that, or if you are okay with the risk, you can do 3-point turns and have minimal turf disturbance on hard dry ground. In wet ground, it's going to be very messy and you have the likelihood of getting stuck. So if you're new on a tracked mini loader, I would stick to wide turns or 3-point turns. If you're in like a nice yard or something, if you don't care about rutting up the ground, then turn away. A lot of times on a Dingo, when you pick up a load, it is easier to just go backwards. But the thing about going backwards is it's kind of tricky. You got to remember that your controls are the opposite. So if you hold the joystick to the right, you're going to go to the left on the back end. It's just inverse controls. This video may seem a bit silly, but nobody taught me this stuff, and I had to learn all through frustration. So I just kind of wanted to pay it forward and put it in a video and share my experience working with some of this stuff. We're going to get into some of the tools you'll need to carry with you if you're renting one of these things later. We're getting into the hydraulics of the system. A lot of times pressure will build up and you can turn off the machine, let it be off for a second, and then turn the ignition halfway back on and get some pressure out of the lines by wiggling the attachment green handle, and that'll release some pressure. But a lot of times you won't be able to get it off, so you will have to bleed the lines. The easiest way to do that is with a vice grip or an adjustable wrench like I have, and just do enough so a little bit of the hydraulic fluid will come out, and then you can take off that male or female end. Those hydraulic lines are what allow your attachment to retract and open and stuff. Once you bleed the lines on the machine, you should be good to go. If not, there might be a buildup in the hydraulic lines, and we'll cover that next. But when you're bleeding the lines on the machine, you want to be sure to tighten the hydraulic lines that are on there before you start the machine back up. That would be bad if you started your system and then hydraulic fluid went everywhere. If you're dealing with a piece of rental equipment, the stuff might not all be shiny and new. So the couplers might not auto lock. You might have to do that by hand yourself. And I've ran into that on some machines where it seems like it's not locking, but really you just have to manually move the collar down to lock it in a little bit. Sometimes there will be a buildup of pressure in the attachment itself, so you will have to take off either the male or female end on the actual attachment. For that, you're going to need an adjustable wrench that opens pretty wide, and either a vice grip or another adjustable wrench. And you'll do kind of like I do here, where you take the two wrenches and put them at about 45 degrees with each other, and then you can either you can kind of pull it into yourself to get better leverage to unscrew that hydraulic fitting. once all that pressure is out of the attachment, you should be able to connect your hydraulics with no issues, as long as the system has been depressurized on the mini skid side of things. It should all hook up fine. If you have a track come off, I'm going to go over some tools that you need to get that track back on, and tools that you'll probably need to have just if you have a mini skid out. So here's a story about this 1/8" socket. The first time I ever ripped the track off of one of these things, I just grabbed my sockets and went to the machine and tried to get the stuff off and started going through things, and then realized that a standard socket set doesn't have an 1/8" socket on it. So I had to go out and find one and lose a bunch of time on a job, when if I would have knew the sizes beforehand, I would have had it in the truck and been able to fix myself a little quicker. So if you're running these Dingos or starting to run these Dingos, go grab yourself an 1/8" socket for the Vermeer or whatever machine you're running. Figure out what that socket size is or how to change it. And, now I always have a 15 and an 1/8" socket ready to go to fix track issues. Just learned a little bit through frustration on that one, so I thought I'd share that with you. To take the track off on this Vermeer 925, what you have to do is put the accessory plate in the front all the way to the bottom so it has something to stand on, and then take your jack and find a hard point on the back and jack that up. And then on the track itself, there is a plate over the actual bolt that's an 1/8" that you need to be able to move the track tension in and out. And then there is also the 15mm bolt that's in there for the lock plate that holds that on. So you need your 15mm first to pull out the bolt that's on the lock plate, and then you can take your lock plate off, and then you can use your 1/8" socket to remove all the tension on the track so you can get it back on. That track tensioner is reverse threaded, so lefty loosey is tighter and righty tighty makes the track loose. That's important to know. When you get a track off, you use the pry bar to get the track back on. I've tried to use it without a pry bar, and it's very hard. So a pry bar just makes everything a lot easier. Those tracks are deceivingly heavy. Pry bar will get you right back on in a hurry. Once the track's been put back on all the rollers, then you can use your impact to loosen, which it's going to be going left. So put your drill on lefty loosey. And then I personally just go until it's tight enough, give it enough ugga-duggas to get back going. Vermeer puts out their specific tension that it needs. It needs backed off like 2 or 3 turns or something sciencey. I just go until it's tight, and I never have had an issue with it coming back off. I just kind of crank it down enough, and then that'll get me back to the rental place. All that's left to do here is put back on the lock plate. So you'll put on the plate and then find its adjustment to where the adjuster fits in the hole, and then put in your 15mm bolt, and you're good to go. I had a blast at TCIA. It was so fun, and so many great people. And I'm not even going to start with the names because I'll forget. And yeah, so I had a really awesome time at TCIA, and I really appreciate everybody that I talked to. There was a lot of good information going on there. So if I talk to you, just know that I think you're awesome. And if I didn't get a chance to talk to you, there's only so much time. There's a lot of things going on there. I wish it was like another day or two, just because there's a lot of stuff that I wanted to do at these conventions and expos. You can't do it all, so you just kind of have to pick and choose, and then maybe do what you don't get to do on the next one. Thank you all for watching this video. I really appreciate it. We're over 1,800 subscribers now. It's awesome. You guys have really been watching the videos, and that really helps out a lot. So thank you so much for that. All the new people, welcome. Appreciate you being here. And if this video helped you, put it down in the comments. If you do something else that's different, that's okay. Put it down in the comments if you think it's a better way. And if not, hopefully you learned something here. If you like and subscribe, that's your choice, but that would help. If you enjoy the videos here, that would help us. If not, that's cool too. So I'll catch you on the next one, and look forward to seeing you there.